Carli, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to a declutter that has been long overdue. I literally have two big old bins right here that have just been sitting and accumulating, and I've been like, oh, I need to film the declutter. I need to just get this out of the way. But every time, for one reason or another, I just haven't done it. Either the laundry's going, dryer's going, washer's going. For some reason, I just kept not doing it. And for a long time, I was like, well, I need to put a face on. I'm like, no, you don't. It's a declutter. You're being chill. You're talking about crap. You're getting what you don't need the pretty face for the declutter. So we're not going to be doing a declutter in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to go through everything and show you what I'm keeping, what I'm not keeping. I'm going to show you all the crap that I have decided to part with and have decided finally reached the point where I'm like, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life. I mean, come on, girl, get rid of that shiz. So, like I said, I have these two things, and I have videos that are like, I need to start doing my makeup rotations and everything like that need me to get rid of this stuff. So I'm going to declutter it, and then I'm going to be offering it up to my sister-in-laws, nieces, and all that jazz. And then if there's anything else that's like going to be maybe sold on, I have a Mercari, not a Poshmark right now. I guess I'll let y'all know, Snapchat or something, or a YouTube community tab thing. But I just need to go through and get rid of this stuff because it's just sitting here just being non-necessary. So there isn't going to be any sort of like, oh, we're doing eyeshadow palettes, or oh, we're doing highlighters. It's just all up in here. So if you don't like that kind of declutter, exit out. This is not going to be the declutter for you. This is just going to be me going through, explaining the stuff that I'm getting rid of. I'm going to be moving relatively soon, and after I get all situated and everything like that, we're going to be doing a makeup collection and everything like that. But for right now, let's just do the declutter because I got to get rid of this shit. It's just got to go. So I'm just going to go on in and pick up stuff. This is the Morphe 35B. For the longest time, I kept this and I was like, oh, you can take it with you and it'll be great and wonderful. We all know Morphe does not have one of my end-all be-all favorite formulas. So I was just like, someone else. I'll probably give that to my best friend Cameron or JT because they like bright colors and they don't have a lot of makeup. Makeup Revolution Ultra Cool Glow, Ultra Pro Glow. This is obviously not a color theory story. It's too dark for your girl pasty. It's just kind of not a formula that I'm in love with. This one, I was like, maybe I'll keep it because I could be duping Anastasia glow kits. But I've had this for a while. I haven't put it to my face a lot, and I was swatching it, and then the swatches were looking all kinds of fancy, so I'll be offering that up as well. Cover Effects Rose Gold Bar highlighting palette. I got this when I ordered the duo blushes, and this was just like a gift with purchase. I have never touched this. I may have lightly swatched it. It seems to be like a thicker, heavier sort of formula, and that's not something that I like or that I go for, so that's gonna go. More Morphe, oh boy! I held on to these for the longest time. This is the 25A and the 25B, and I held on to them because I'm like, oh, they're good for traveling because if they break, I won't be too upset. I mean, I see no point because like, I'm not using them. Like they're pretty, they're neutral. I really wanted to get on that Morphe bandwagon, but they just, like I said, they do not have my end-all be-all formula. They don't even have like a formula that's like that's even something that I'm like, okay, I'll use this because Too Faced and Urban Decay don't have my end-all be-all formulas, but I still use those. And I did I do have two very neutral palettes from ColourPop as well as a bunch of singles, so I'm like, if I'm gonna take something traveling, I'm gonna take those, and I'm not gonna take these. I've taken these traveling with me and they never get used, so those are going bye-bye. As well as two of these fun-sized palettes from Violet Voss. This one is Le Macaroon. It's just an all shimmer palette. It's not like my favorite or anything like that. I have other palettes that are chock full of shimmers that I'm going to reach to before I do this one. on, and then the Creme Brulee. Once again, it's a whole bunch of shimmers. It's got 3 mattes. The shimmers are nice and pretty, 4 mattes. But I have other shimmers from myriad of other palettes. These are another thing where I've been like holding on to and been like, well, maybe someday I'll use that specific one color out of this palette. That day has not come. It probably is never gonna come. So these have got to go. This took me a while to come to the realization that I need to declutter it. And actually watching Teresa Is Dead declutter it kind of gave me that push that like, girl, you gotta get rid of it. It ain't good. You lying to yourself. The Sugarpill Little Twin Stars palette. Now, when I reviewed it, I was like, it's good, it's great, it's wonderful. It's not. This is definitely not Color Pill, Sugarpill. This is not Sugarpill's traditional regular formula. It's not very cohesive. I'm not reaching into it for any of the single shades, so there's really just no point. For the longest time, I was like, oh, but it's a collector's. I have the presentation box. I have the makeup bag. I love the 2 liquid lipsticks. I've got enough from the collection to be all like, well, it's a, keeping it for the collector whatever in me. So this, goodbye, sayonara. Another sort of like collector thing that I was like, Jeffree Star x Morphe, which I'm pretty sure this was the final nail in the coffin for me to be like, I'm not buying Morphe. I don't care who, as I say, they could collaborate with the Messiah, Jesus himself, and I would say, no, I'm good. I mean, if you just look at it, it's okay. It's got this awful, awful glitter right here. And I mean, like, why would I reach for this when I've got Blood Sugar, which does this right here? I've got my Visi Art Grand Pro. I've got ColourPop. I've got these shades, once again, in formulas that I love. A collector part of me was kind of like, whatever. I'll probably give this to my best friend Morgan because she loves Jeffree Star. So that is going to go bye-bye. Urban Decay On the Run palette. Born to run. I am born to run away from this palette right here. It's not awful. I reviewed it and I didn't think it was the best. I got a lot of, that's one of the reviews that has pretty close to more dislikes than likes. And a lot of people are like, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You're stupid. You don't know anything about makeup. I was like, okay, all right. I didn't know you all felt like that. But some of the shades are really pretty, like this Big Sky right here and Wanderlust. But once again, I'm sure I can find these shades in something else. And I'm just holding it on to it for the heck of it. But that and another Urban Decay. Anti-hold it but bought it. Naked Reloaded. Hate the packaging. This cloth whateverness feels so cheap. I have the Anastasia Sultry palette, which this palette is oftentimes compared to, so why do I need this? Urban Decay doesn't have a absolutely fantastic formula compared to other things. A lot of the shades, you've got a bunch of really light ones. And it's just not getting used, and I don't need to hold on to it because it's a naked palette and I need to keep them together. I don't need. 2020 is the year of me breaking myself out of these bad, stupid makeup habits. I honestly never thought that this day would come. Y'all would have seen on Snapchat where I was like, using this palette, and I was like, it sucks. It sucks. It was just all kinds of heckin' powdery. It muddied together. I'd try to go in to go deeper and it would just keep getting worse and worse. I had to take my makeup off and I just ended up being like, no, we're not filming today because this is just not happening. Like I said, I never thought that day would come, but the Kat Von D, this is the Lolita palette. The Kat Von D Lolita palette is going to find a new home. 2 more palettes that I actually like. These are the Lorac Unzipped Ocean Sunset and Mountain Sunset. They're good. I like them. I think that Lorac should kind of try doing this maybe a little bit more because the unzipped formula is really nice. And these were a lot more unique to other things that they had in their range. But like I keep saying, I'm not reaching for these, and I don't want to hold on to things that I'm not reaching for just for the sake of having them in my collection. We got the two right here. You know, they're not bad quality. They're nice and everything like that. This shimmer right here is absolutely stunning. This shimmer is beautiful. That shimmer is beautiful, but I'm just not reaching for it, and I don't want to have a palette that I'm just holding on to for the sake of one or two shimmer shades that I'm probably never going to reach for anyway. Morphe and good old Jaclyn Hill. I had decluttered the Bling the Bling Boss one, and I held on to these thinking, oh, I'm gonna use these. You know, this one, I really like the color story there. Then this one, which I really love the color story. But when you have a color story that the majority of it is like really dark mattes and the formula isn't that good, no thank you. And I have my Viseart dark matte palette or whatever. This one is basically the poor man versions of the Modern Renaissance. Just go out and buy you the Modern Renaissance or any other red tone. Buy you a red tone palette from ColourPop. And it's going to be 110 times better than these Morphe pieces of crap. Another OG big Morphe palette. This is the 35OM. Now this one I have nice things to say about. I had pulled this one out. You know, these beautiful reddy orangey tones. You know, I had been reaching. I traveled with this one a fair amount because it gave you a lot of variety. And I did use it like going back and forth from here to Tennessee. But like I said, I have so many other palettes. I have neutrals that I now use and love. There is no point in me holding on to this big giant laptop of a thing. Another palette that's like good, and I'm not getting rid of it because it's like, oh, this sucks. It's just that for my makeup now, it's just not something. But the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel Deluxe Edition palette. Now, I reviewed this. That's like an OG review on my channel, and I really liked it. The quality of the palette, the shadows were really good. These two highlighters here, absolutely stunning, as well as just the formula on this is really, really nice. I love these two shimmers right here, you know, but this palette I feel doesn't offer me as much depth as I would like compared to other palettes that I own. It's big, it's bulky, I never reach for it for the highlighters or the eyeshadow, so this is something else I'm probably gonna offer up to my my sister-in-laws and other stuff like that. Okay. We did make a big a big declutter discovery. These is something that I've been holding on to for forever. These are the Urban Decay Naked Illuminated, and they just had to go. I reached the point where I'm like, you're big, you're cumbersome, you're annoying, you're just a big giant glitter bomb. Which I like glitter, but y'all know I like glitter in a controlled substance. You know, I'm gonna be using my Jeffree Star Supreme whatevers and my Ciate London. This one is obviously way too dark for me. And it's always like, oh, well, you could use it on your body or your whatever. I mean, I'm not going to any fancy event. And if I don't like glitter running around on my face, I especially don't like glitter running around on my body, getting on my clothes, getting on my husband, getting on my cats. It's just not a look. The Becca Champagne Pop Loose Highlighter. Now, I battled with myself with this one, but it's just not a very good formula. It's very chunky. It's thicker. It's like a loose powder, but it's thicker. I've got ones from Wet n Wild, the Coty Airspun ones that are a lot more finer and thinner and nicely milled, and this one's just a chunky champagne pop mess with glitter. Wet n Wild Photo Friggity Frackin' Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder in All Glown Up. Great formula. It's just too dark for me. Two more loose highlighters from LA Girl. Now these are a great formula. Do not get me wrong, but they have this open top whateverness, and so when I set them down the way I do in order for them to be stored, there's highlighter everywhere, and that's just a headache I am leaving behind in 2019. Okay, something else, Wet n Wild Jelly Highlighter. I absolutely hate this. It looks pretty. It looks like it's gonna be blinding and cha-cha-cha-cha, but it hardens on the face. Like, it literally like feels like it's cracking and whatever. It doesn't blend well. It does not look cute. Laura Geller Gilded Honey. I have just come to terms with the fact that this is not a highlighter that I absolutely love. I know it's a huge OG whatever, but even when I'm tan, I'm reaching more for Ofra's Rodeo Drive than I am Laura Geller Gilded Honey. So that's gonna go. Oh my goodness, we've got all kinds of crap going. Like I said, I just go through and I would like put into these boxes, depending on what it is. LA Colors highlight. These are great. If you can find them at the dollar store, they're like $1. It's a great formula, but they're a weird shape. They're weird to store. I'm anal and whatever about that. So these are going, as well as the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Glow in Bronzed. I am not a bronze skin tone, and I don't bronze because bronzing isn't goth. NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator in Gleam. Too deep for me. Not something I'm gonna mix in with my foundation. Speaking of foundation, I don't know why I was going through my declutter thing and I was like, what the frig are these still? I have raved and hated on this foundation. I'm like, what is it still doing in my foundation drawers? But this is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. No, it's more like I Am Magic. No, it's just, this was a no from me. Then I am getting rid of, not because it's a bad foundation, but the majority of my Wet n Wild Photo Focus ones, simply because I don't know which ones I've had for how long. So we're kind of just like getting rid of these, probably because the majority of them are really old, and then we're just kind of gonna start from phase 1. So I will probably at some point repurchase this and whatever, but for now we're just getting rid of that. We are getting rid of my, not because it's a bad product, but because the formula has very definitely gone off the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Then we've got the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Hydrating Foundation. We all know how that went, so that does not have a place in my collection at all. Not because it's a bad product, but I'm probably going to offer this up to one of my sister-in-laws. This is just a Almay Smart Shade Primer. I have since found a new Holy Grail primer that is cruelty-free, so this one doesn't need to be in my collection anymore. I finally was able to break the umbilical cords on these Tarina Tarantino ones. I mean, the shadow quality is really nice. They're really beautiful, but it's just not something that I reach for. These were a gift from my mother, but I'm sure if you can get them open, I'm sure she would rather I move these out of my collection if I'm not getting use out of them than just holding on to them for the sake of sentimentality. ColourPop Misunderstood Disney Villains palette. A crap ton of shimmers. I would reach for it for this one and this one, but let's be real, this was a anti-hauled it but bought it. Should not have let myself get all caught up into the hypeness and whatever with that. That is going. Another Morphe palette. This one is the 15T, Your True Selfie. Beautiful color story. I absolutely love these two shimmers. If you can tell, I have a thing for green shimmers. I also really like this orange shimmer, but the mattes are just, the quality is just not there. When it comes to Morphe doing these deep, dark colors, it just keeps getting worse. Like, they can do like a light white creamy shade. That's easy to formulate. But when it comes to the more complicated matte ones, they're just not very good. Another harsh reality check, the Kat Von D Shade and Light quads, which I spent so much time desperately trying to get my hands on because I was a Kat Von D fanatic and had to have absolutely everything she made. I don't know why I like these. These are so powdery. They don't blend well. They kind of piff off into the atmosphere. They don't look nice on the lid. They're just, the gradation sucks. It's just a formula. I mean, I kind of understand why she took these off. The claim was, oh, we're making it vegan. But I think in reality, these just sucked quality-wise, so we had to take them off the market. Lime Crime Little Plushies palette. I bought this because it was at Marshall's and it was like $6, and I was like, sure, I want that. I was drawn to the cute teddy bear aesthetic, and I think I've just swatched it. No, wait, I have used the Rosebud Pink shade. Like, it's nice. It's just, once again, not cohesive, not gonna get a whole shebang bang look out of this, and I don't want to hold on to it for occasionally using a slight pink shade that I'm sure I have 1,000 times over. And then we started getting some, like I said, there's a lot of self-realization. Too Faced Natural Matte before they decided to reformulate. And this is one that I've held on to because I'm like, well, it's an all matte palette. It's so pretty. You'll get some use out of it. No, I won't. I'm holding on to it for the sake of it being one of the Too Faced tin palettes. Like I said, I've got from ColourPop neutrals that I absolutely love the formula of, so this has absolutely no point being in my collection. And speaking of coming to terms with things, we have finally reached the point of decluttering my chocolate bars. I just don't use these. Back in my early whatevers on YouTube, I was like, these are the shiznit. Y'all should definitely get these. They're amazing. Some of the best palettes you can get on the market. And I know a lot of people do absolutely love these. Still smell good. But for me and my collection and my needs, I've kind of gotten over the whole concept or the idea of like, oh, well, I need it because I'm a YouTuber, because people, no. If I'm not going to use it and it's not going to be a part of makeup that I actually use on my face, there's absolutely no point. Even the whole like, well, I need it because if I'm not going to use it, there's no point in it being for my channel because I'm not even using it or y'all ain't even going to see it. So the chocolate bars have to go. These next two are really sad. I'm not getting rid of them because they're bad. I'm getting rid of them because they've probably gone bad, because I've had these probably for like 6 years. The Sugarpill Sparkle Baby and Cold Chemistry palettes. I love these. These are 4-pan palettes that I literally would pull for one color. I love these. I just need to deal with it, go on to Sugarpill at some point and make my own custom palette. This is the Cold Chemistry one. This green I used so many times for a Slytherin makeup look. I love these, but there was one time I used my makeup and I did my makeup and my eyes got a little funky. And these were in the running for what potentially made my eye go funky. So we're not trying that again. We're just accepting the fact that I've held on to these for way too long. I absolutely love them, but I don't want my eyeball to fall out of my face. And something that just wasn't that amazing. This is the Revolution Vintage Lace Intense Metallic Cream Powder Highlighter. You get like a funky overspray on these, and then the shade underneath is completely different. It's not a very nice formula. It's very dusty, it's very powdery, and it's not something in my vast collection of highlighters and single highlighters that I'm reaching for. Something else that I had to come to terms with, that it wasn't getting used. These are the Smashbox X Santigold palettes. This was in the baby years of me getting makeup. I remember reading some magazine, it was Elle, Marie Claire, or, In Style, one of those, and they were like, oh, look at these. This is the collection you need to buy if you're into makeup. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm in, I'm down. And I will say, I've swatched a couple of the shades, but I have never used these on my face. They're beautiful. They're definitely collector whateverness, but I just need to get to the point where I'm not collecting these anymore because there's no point. It was a sad moment, but it was a good moment because I need to stop holding on to makeup just because of whatever the reason it is I was holding on to these for. Okay, all right, we've got the Tarteist Pro Glow. Y'all know I hate this. I hate it. I don't reach for this. The highlighters are beautiful. If they had this powder, this contour, sculpt, whatever powder, and my foot's falling asleep. And just lay it over top the pile of makeup. But if they had this in a single, I would buy it. It's just, like I said, it's just not something that I reach for. It was fine, but it's not getting used. Then another piece of like, I want to say sentimental, but like collector. The Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen. You know, this highlighter is absolutely awful. The shadows are okay. This one's a glittery fallouty mess. This one's really powdery and nasty. It's just, I have no strong affinity towards bunny. It's just something that needs to go. Two more I Am Magic foundations because I was desperately trying to find my shade. All of these Naked Flushed palettes. For the longest time, I held on to these and I was like, I'm gonna use them. They're so pretty. Highlighter, bronzer, blush going all up in there, you know, nice and compact, but like, I just never do. It's just something that I have to come to terms with the fact that this is a product that I am not gonna reach for. I think a couple of my sister-in-laws will really like these because they're looking, you know, just getting some like nice, more natural makeup. And these are really nice powders and products and everything like that, but they're not for me anymore. More Kat Von D. These are her True Romance eyeshadow. Once again, the formula isn't really that good. I don't like the fact that they're not separated by pans. Y'all know that is a pet peeve of mine. I got them at Marshall's just because, like I said, I needed to have everything that was Kat Von D and it made me so happy inside, but I'm done being happy inside and they just make me sad. All right, what else have we got? Crap ton of blush. All right, no, that's highlighter. Okay, I finally bit the bullet. And I decided it looks like City Color doesn't make these blushes anymore. These are their Be Matte blushes. I tried to find them online and I just couldn't. I kept one shade that's called Blackberry, which is very unique to my collection. And it was a beautiful, smooth formula. And all these other ones, let's see here, Fresh Melon, Pink Grapefruit, Blood Orange, Toasted Coconut, which was a good contour bronzer shade, but I have other ones that I, you know, like and use more. Then sort of in that same vein, the Revolution, the matte blushes. I think they've repackaged these. They do not sell them in this particular format anymore. We've got Nude, which is a fantastic dupe for Tarte Exposed. We have Dare, we have New Rules, and Divine. Then sort of following in that still, we've got NYX Ombre ones. Now I did keep a few that were kind of more unique. This one here is Insta Flame. They're nice. Be aware that this light color is a spray over, so you're not actually going to get that for an extended period of time. Strictly Chic. Another Revolution Be Matte blush in Beloved. Finally getting rid of my Soap and Glory Super Luminizing Highlighting Powder in Glow All Out. It's really pretty. It's very subtle. I think I'm going to offer this to my sister-in-law, Aletha, because she likes more subtle makeup. I have other peachy, orangey highlighters that I use more. Finally getting rid of my Jeffree Star Princess Cut because, y'all, this shiz is like a joke. It's just, it's so hard pressed. It's so thick. I mean, come. Not consistent, not cute, going away. ColourPop My Little Pony. I just have to come to the terms with the fact that this is not a formula that I like. I don't think all of their ones are like this. I don't even know what the colors of these are, but that one's going. This one, because this totally matches my skin tone. And then this one, I don't even know what these are called, but it's this orangey whatever one. It's pretty. I was going to use it as like a blush topper. That's not going to happen. Another crap ton of blushes. These are the NYX High Definition Blush. I think they still make these. They may have repackaged them. I have so many blushes that I love and use. I'm literally just getting rid of stuff that I do not use. We've got Intuition, Hamptons, Crimson, Double Dare. Then we've got Pink the Town, which is actually kind of more peachy. And then Electric, which, yeah, you kind of need to have a really good formula to do shades like this. And this formula was okay. Finally decluttering my Sentimental Estee Lauder blush. If they ever went cruelty-free, I would go out and buy this blush. It is absolutely amazing. It is so pretty. But I have had this this is another thing I've had probably approaching 7 years. Yeah, no, that's not going on my face. Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I found that it added color, you know, wherever I laid it down over my concealer. It wasn't so much translucent as it was just really light. Too Faced Hyper Reflective Highlighting Beam, whatever this is, triple scoop. It was nice. It's an okay formula. Y'all know I got this at Marshall's, and it's just not something that I see needs to be taking up space with my other highlighter palettes. A Cargo Blush in Tonga, which is pretty much, well, swatch is kind of okay there. It was just really friggin' light, and I just haven't been reaching for it. Juvia's Place Setting Powder. This one is in White Sands. Just didn't like it. Just kind of made me look crepey, nasty, and old, kind of like all of their complexion products have. This one makes me sad. This was one of the first things a subscriber ever sent to me. This is the Catrice David Tomaszewski Glow Stick. I absolutely love this. I've used the crap out of it, but it is getting dry and going old, so it needs to go. I got some highlighters from Shop Miss A. They're a relatively good formula. They're just too dark for me. I mean, for $1, it's pretty good, but like I said, they're just, oh yes, that's totally a highlighter for me. I don't think they have any names. It just says bronzer highlighter, bronzer highlighter. They are cruelty free. The formula is pretty good. If you are of a deeper complexion and want to spend $1 on a relatively good highlighter, I would recommend checking these out. I got them for that purpose. They have served their purpose, and now it's time to go. All right, getting down to the whatever. Another sad whateverness. This is, once again, Sugarpill Heartbreaker Palette. So good. It doesn't look like this, but I tore into this so much. This green, so good. But once again, this is really stinking old, and it just needs to go before it gives me an infection. Urban Decay Moon Dust. Just not a palette that I really reach for at all. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued, and like I said, it's not something that I reach for, so this can have a happy home with someone else. Okay, so for the longest time, this palette was in my don't use but don't get rid of because I have a problem with keeping collections together drawer. And I was just like, there's no point. There's no flipping friggin' point for you keeping this absolute travesty of a palette. This does not deserve any kind of retail space in your life. This palette is a joke. Okay, let's see here. Single shadows. I finally have cut the umbilical cord with my Tarina Tarantino singles. Not because they aren't lovely, not because I didn't use them, but because they're old. This blue was absolutely fan-tucking-fastic. I absolutely loved that green. Oh, this green here too. It was just, I loved these. I used them, but they're old. They're old and they need to go bye-bye. Same kind of goes on with these Nyx ones right here. I love the packaging of these. It's like clear acrylic and it's just all kinds of nice and whatever. Don't know if Nyx still sells these. These were they're just pressed pigments, which you probably shouldn't use on your eyes, but I use the shiz out of this one for on my eyes. I also use these whenever I do my eyebrows with a liquid lipstick. I would use these to set it or lighten it or deepen it or whatever I needed to do, but like I said, they're just really, really old. So we had hot pink, hot blue, hot red, hot green, hot yellow, hot fuchsia, hot orange. They were great. This color was absolutely amazing, but like I said, they're old. I just need to come to terms with that. Then a series of single shadows I'm getting rid of, not because they're old, but because they're absolutely awful. Y'all would have seen my full face of Medusa's makeup. Y'all would have seen that these were probably one of the biggest jokes of the century. Like, they were charging like over $50 for this bundle, and the shadows were just so abysmal. The colors, like you got this orange and this purple, they looked so promising, but they're just bad. Like it's not even like oh maybe whatever. It's like it's just bad. Like this is like pay for $1 at the dollar store to let your child play with, but don't let your child play with it because it's got so much glitter in it. Your child is gonna rip their cornea. So these go bye-bye. Goodbye. Lip products going on here. Not that they're bad. I just have a mountain, a myriad, a huge assortment of lip products that I don't use, that I don't need a whole bunch of others that I don't use. These are the NYX Simply Vamp lip creams. I'm probably going to offer some of these up to my sister-in-law because she likes that kind of like 90s grungy brown sort of thing. I may even offer it to my mom because she sometimes like doing a deeper lip. You know, they're good. They're really nice. They were very pigmented, very smooth, very, they were really, really nice. I used a lot of these on kind of the inner part here when I did my vampire looks, but like I said, they're just sitting there and I keep reaching for every other lip product I own besides these, so that tells me it gotta go. This Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in unicorn blood needs to go, not because I don't like it. I love one of my favorite reds that ever existed, but it has gone off, like beyond. It is the epitome of off. I just need to suck it up and at some point buy me I don't need to do that because I'm sure I've got plenty of other red liquid lipsticks, but this was a really good one. Loved the formula. It's just like I said, it's dead. It is gone. Deceased. Hashtag deceased. Okay, so we are nearing the end here. We have got 2 more jelly highlighters. I just don't like the way these sit on my skin. This is the one from Makeup Revolution and this is one from NYX. I don't know if any higher end ones are the same, but just the way that these set down on my skin was not fun. Again, in the Too Faced chocolate family, I was gonna hold on to this one because we all know Satin Sheets is a bomb diggity shade. I mean, I guess it's okay. All right, that kind of further whatever's it. This needs to go. I'm not using these. Like, they smell nice, and they're, if I look at these, I've got those shades between soft glam and modern renaissance. I've definitely got a hot pink shimmer. I've definitely got a light pink shimmer. I've definitely got a giant setting shade. I mean, there's just absolutely no point in me keeping that. And then something that was a bit more painful to finally decide that I need to get rid of because I'm literally not using these. And I have reached the point in my life that I need to just stop holding on to things for the sake of holding. I don't have the time. I don't have the space. I don't have the patience or the sanity to deal with this. So we have got the peanut butter and jelly, and I swatched this and I was like, oh, well, that purple's, I'm sure I have that purple. I mean, when you look at it and you're like, oh, well, look, it's so cute. If you take this shiz apart, I'm sure you can find shades. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just like, okay, you really like that shade, you know, and then I'll go into another palette and find that shade. We have the Too Faced Country, really light, minimal, you know, not really my thing. Was keeping it because it was one of the collection. Rock Rebel, rock and roll, much more my speed, but it's got one matte and one matte filled with glitter, and everything else is shimmer. And I just, it's time. It is time to cut the umbilical cord. This one. Y'all know if I don't love a goth aesthetic, I love a cute kawaii. This is the Sugar Pop one. It's so pretty, but I don't use it, and I'm sure someone else could have fun with this, so goodbye. Got some bullet lipsticks, because we're finally reaching the point of, you know, you don't use it, get rid of it. I got 5 ones from Kat Von D. I kept a couple of her shimmery ones because I topped those over liquid lipsticks to kind of give a little bit more dimension and soften them out. This is Slayer, a used and abused black lipstick. That these ones are probably all going to go into the trash because I've had them forever, and a lot of these shades are just like really freaking used. This one here is Archangel, which was a really pretty like blood red, but like I said, with these, you know, Sanitation. This one here is Vampira, which was another shade I used a lot in my whole gothy vampire thing. Sexer, which was a beautiful pink with a little hint of shimmer in it, but I'm sure I have that somewhere else. And then Wolf's Mouth, which I probably would have kept because it's kind of like a shimmery red purple, but I kept another one that was very similar to this, and I kept one from Lipstick Queen that was also very similar to this. Then speaking of Lipstick Queen, I had to, these were so expensive. So expensive. And you could hurt someone with the packaging, but these are the silver screen. This one is Stella, which was this beautiful metallic-y purple. It has like a little bit of payoff, but it's really dry, and you know, it's not gonna give me what that color is on my lips. Now, the only reason I kept this one is because I have an obsession with the aesthetic of Marie Antoinette and just the French Rococo period in general. And so this shade was Let Them Eat Cake, and it was this beautiful shimmery pink, but once again, it's super dry. It's really time to just let this one go. Then also from Lipstick Queen, I'm finally getting rid of the metal ones. These are really great, but I kind of went through, it's another like reddy shimmery one. I went through and kept the ones I wanted and got rid of ones that were really duplicating, and I got rid of the red one for the same reason. 2 from Anastasia that I bought at Marshall's because I have issues and felt the need to have everything. This one is Honey Matte Lipstick, which I've swatched, but I haven't used. And this one is Griffin, which is a beautiful gray, which I haven't even touched, so I'll probably offer that up to someone. Then we've got some really hard, painful. These are the lipsticks from the Urban Decay and Alice in Wonderland collection. Y'all know that I kept the eyeshadow palette because that's something my mom got me, but these are just not getting used at all. And like I said, I think my mom would rather I make space and use something that I love than hold on to these just for the sake of she bought them for me. And then we have the only Gwen Stefani lipstick that I kept in Firebird. That is going because it's time to go. My last Marc Jacobs lipstick, Eat Cake, which you guys, and it's really pretty. It's this like kind of, okay. All right, I will hold on to this one for just a little bit longer. I thought if it had dried out, but it's still nice and creamy, so you can stay. What cannot stay are all of my ultra matte lips from ColourPop. Y'all know I absolutely despise this formula. This is a horrible, dry, flaky, nasty, disgusting formula that does nothing for anyone's lips. Do not recommend these. We'll probably just be pitching these because I wouldn't want to put anyone else through having them to put them on their lips. And in the same vein, we've got all of my ColourPop Ultra Glossy lips. This is kind of as bad as those, but to the other extreme. These are thick, they're gloopy, they're nasty. I just absolutely despise these. I like a gloss, but I don't like a gloss that feels like a slug on my lips. Another ColourPop Ultra, oh wait, this is Ultra Satin. Guess I pitched it in here because I thought it was an Ultra Matte. I am gonna get rid of these glosses I got from Shop Miss A. They're okay. Like, they're not anything that's amazing. I thought they were gonna be a dupe for the Lime Crime Diamond Crushers, and they're not. They're just kind of like a glittery whateverness. They don't dry down nice. They don't stay where they are. So, I mean, that's only $3 at least. I've got 2 Violet Voss liquid lipsticks that I got in a swap forever ago. The formula was nice on these. If they had some interesting colors, I might try getting more, but these are old. Really old, so we don't want my lips to fall off. 2 more of these. We've got the purpley one right here, and then the red one. It just comes down to the fact that I don't use bullet lipsticks, especially if they're matte. Because if I'm gonna go for a matte lipstick, I'm gonna use just a liquid lipstick one. Then last on the lip front, this is a Lime Crime plushie, which I used it once and I really liked it. And then I used it again and it seemed really like liquidy, less pigmented. I know these are supposed to be kind of like a lighter, soft whateverness, but I know they're supposed to be pigmented as well, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe shaking it up did anything to it. No, not really. Let's get it go. It smells nice. Then the lippy scrub from ColourPop. I don't like it. It's going in the trash. The Milk Makeup Watermelon Brightening Serum. I'm going to offer this to one of my friends or my sister-in-laws, one of those people. The Stila All Over Shimmer Duo. This was a highlighter that I finally was just like, you know what? I kept it because I was like, I need to have a highlighter from every brand that ever existed. Apparently that isn't the case. So, and then I swatched it and I was like, this isn't even like Catrice. It felt like one of the pans was going to fall out. But this isn't even Catrice. It's just kind of like a faint, subtle something. So my sister-in-law, Aletha, or Carolyn might like this because it's more subtle. And then something that makes me kind of sad because a subscriber sent it to me, but it's just the case of I'm not using it. This is the Sleek Makeup Highlighting Palette in Cleopatra's Kiss. It's got 2 creams, which were honestly... Okay, never mind. They were good before they bit the dust here, it seems. Yeah, that is nice and dried out. And then the 2 powders are just way too deep for me. It was so sweet of her to send that, but it just... It's not my skin tone. I need to understand this. That just because it's a highlighter doesn't mean it's gonna work for me. Okay, folks, we made it. I cannot tell you now if after this point I'm gonna insert a clip of like, oh look, I found more, because after I go through all the issues, throw out what I'm throwing out, and then like divvying up what I'm divvying up, you know, I may declutter more because I got 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers. So I've got 20 drawers that are packed full. And I have stuff on my table over there that don't fit into these 20 drawers, and that's a problem. So there may be another segment of me being like, well, I found something else that I'm getting rid of. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this declutter. I apologize for not swatching or whatever. You know, it's just a declutter. I just want it gone. I want it out of the house. So I do hope you enjoyed that declutter. I will try to leave my other declutters down below. I've got ones where I'm like super savage. I've got ones where I go through vlog style. We've got a myriad of other declutters to fulfill your decluttering needs. So until then, and I'm sure there will be other declutters in the whatever, but this is literally the moving declutter. We got to get rid of this shiz. It's done. I'm done. I'm so done. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!